Good morning, everybody, or good night, or good evening, good early afternoon, good night. Considering, let me see, most of you guys, a lot of Europeans we got here. So it is early morning. I wanted to go through that factory just one more time and detail everything that I sort of could because, well, we're still trying to figure out what it was and what it did and what it might do. And somewhere out in the big world, there's a technician or a construction designer or an engineer, probably an engineer, who worked on something that might be able to recognize what this foundation could have been used for. Because, Bavaria. Well, plan is for next week, I'm coming out, going into Europe on the 18th, coming down from Denmark, going through Germany, and then straight to Austria, where I will document the Bergkristall tunnels. I don't know about Kellerbau, and then we'll see. And after that, I have some tunnel systems and some underground factories, Siemens, Kamlas, ME262 plants I'm going to try to visit. And I'm still trying to fill the schedule because Lord knows I'm there and I'm planning on eating myself senseless. I want to see things, and that's what I'm saying. I'm kind of looking to you guys for suggestions. If you know of anything that is interesting or relevant to that needs to be seen, shown, documented, and you have a coordinate, send me a short message with a coordinate. Let me have a look at it. And I said that last time, and I'm saying that again because one of the no, we have an American here. Yay! One of you guys wrote me about Espelkamp. I'm sorry, I'm only halfway deep into my coffee yet, and it's clearly not working. We need to stop doing these in the morning when I'm not awake. It doesn't happen until after I'm done in the gym. Espelkamp was interesting because the British apparently, it's one of those places that was suggested I visit because Espelkamp supposedly had a functioning nuclear reactor, and a bomb was found by the British 8th Army with some instruction that it couldn't be used without express permission from the Führer. And again, documentation is absent. So I think, well, okay, that's a story we're hearing more and more of. Something in the underground, something nuclear, something dangerous. And I looked as far as I could, again, on the store and looked at the city. And from what I can see, where this supposed place was, it's been covered up by somebody built the city on top of it, which means it's if there was an underground, it's been neatly covered up and cannot be seen. So if I have a chance to go through, that's the problem with these places. Unless someone local who has played there as a kid all their life knows that there's some secret entrance that haven't been covered up that even the authorities don't know of. A lot of these places, they are just gone. And we would have to start removing civilian houses to find them, which means the last information we can actually take and use is in the archives. And I figured this you know what? I cannot copy and paste a coordinate here. Maybe I can. Hang on. Yes. No, I can't. Brazilian zombie. I can't copy and paste a GPS coordinate. Well, great. Now I put it everywhere. I can't copy and paste it. Could you just shoot me an email? tinostrokman@hotmail.com. Damn it. Unless I can on the YouTubes. Now you send me stuff. I want to do this. Is fun. Well, for me, you guys are just watching me sit here and talk to myself while I'm clicking on away, looking at things. See, that's what I love. The camera's in the way of the screen, so I have to do this in order to actually see to actually find the button. This is not the one. This is the one. I'll be damned. Now I want to know what you sent me. Now I'm curious. And this is where this is fun because we all get to pitch in and do this together. And all right, there you are. Because I think on the YouTube, I can copy and paste. Yes, I can. Ha! All right, forget everything after good morning. And where's my maps? There's my maps. And what did you do on your Friday night? I was looking at more on the clown talking to himself. Yay. All right, you send me a coordinate of, okay, I have a dot there already. Königswinter. Königswinter, Germany. Okay. All right, I see woods. Where are you? Zombie. Damn it, there. All right, what am I looking at? It did cut and paste on YouTube, but I'm looking at this through StreamYard, and it will not let me copy and paste just because it hates me and its technology, and it rightfully should. All right, it is officially there's nothing. Well, Google bears out that version wonderfully, because all I see is trees. All right, share with us, my friend. You know what? I did not know I could do this. I'm going to show you right there. Okay, if I show that, I'm going to chat with you. I have to share them individually. Ooh, I can do this. I've learned something new. Yay, somebody bring a bottle of something. And that's why I want to try to do chats on what we do in the military. One of the silly. I did not know I could do this. See, we learned something. Well, one of these silly chat programs where whenever someone's talking, it means you have to have a microphone at least. Really? Okay. I'm up for that. I'm all in favor of those. Ooh, defensive lines. Ooh, really? Yes. Okay. And you've been. All right, so who's coming with me? All right, hang on, where's my maps again? There it is. So where is this in the world? All right, save. Yes, I know. My camera's hiding here. Go. Where's it compared to where I'm going? What's around there? Königswinter. Oh, there's a hotel near there. That's a good start. Martin Bormann Hotel? What? That's not what that said. Come on. I swear that's what it just said. Oh, great. Now I have a fucking echo of myself. Pardon my French. Bad person. Swearing on. Where did it go? Yeah, we're going with the fact that it probably didn't say Martin Bormann Hotel. Although that would probably be hilarious. So it's near Bonn. Okay. Oh. Well, you're surrounded by a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, well, you're right next to where I'm going anyway. Okay, alrighty then. Voice server? Oh, right. Sorry. That's a funny thing we do with this. I forget what I was actually saying. What are we doing? Zoom. We can do a Zoom meeting. But then we would all have to, but where everybody with a cell phone or whatever can just jump on and either with or without picture, and then whoever's talking pops up. It's free, it's simple, and I think it'll be interesting. Except I've noticed when we tried it once in the garden, we had like some 2,000 people, and one dude did not turn off his TV or something, and it was just no one could hear anything because no one could tell this dude to turn off his TV. Grandson, his son is still alive, isn't he? They used to be priest who married the used to be nun. Come on, it's a romantic story. Be interesting to there's just a lot of the kids I would love to talk to. Problem with talking to the kids, a lot of the people who were big shots in the Nazi hierarchy is it's hard for them on camera, on documentation, on paper to be honest about how they really feel and what they believe their parents or grandparents experienced because of their name. and I understand that. I understand their predicament on that. So it's a better thing having to talk to these guys off camera and just find out what actual. And I don't want to hang any of them out to dry. Hitler's kid in France from World War I. That'll be interesting. I don't know. I guess with the age, there would have to be a grandkid, and I don't know if he had any kids. That's sort of a child that disappeared. A lot of the children and grandchildren of these guys just disappeared and been left alone. Mengele had a son that absolutely. They went to visit him, and Mengele said that he spent a lot of time telling him how he had been lied about, and he didn't do it, and that's not how things happened, and how he was misrepresented. And his son have grown up hating him because of what he's been told. That is what I remember seeing an interview with him where his father had defended himself, and I don't know if they made up before he died. Of course, this is a long time ago. I don't know if Mengele's son is still alive. But he didn't really grow up with his father around, obviously, because he was on the run. And if all his father did was deny that the things he had been accused of doing had happened, he may not have much to tell, really. I would think that Bormann's grandson, he had a lot of children. He was a very fertile little chubby. He was a little chubby guy. He had those 5 other family members in America of Hitler's. All of them supposedly, according to TV, and we know how television always tells you the truth about things. That none of them. Oh, we're you doing it again. Now I gotta go find this again. All right, I'll just mute myself and leave it there. There. Yes. So where are you? There you are. Got it. Come on. Why will you not do that? Why will you not copy and paste? You bastard. I'm confused. On. All right, hang on. I'm looking at more coordinates, as you may have guessed. No, I'm not. Life is just one large computer error in my life here. Go on. And I need to shut myself up because I'm hearing myself as an echo. Bad enough hearing myself at all. All right, here we go. Ooh, what is it? Ooh, oh, that's where that is. We've been talking about that. I know. Yeah, but again, StreamYard will not let me copy and paste. I have to go to the YouTube to copy and paste. So now that's just running in the background. Oh, this is a cool place. Did I post that? So you guys, you can do it from the YouTube. Wow. Yeah, that does look like a whole lot of hinges. Wow. Holy shit. That is so extremely cool. That's what you were trying to show me at Bleach Hammer. That was the next note. Oh. Well, that does. Wow. Damn it. How can I show this to you guys? For those of you who are not playing on Google Earth, the one thing I like Google for is this. Is Google Earth. Anything else they can pretty much jump off a cliff for. Let me see if I can do it the cheap and tacky way. And then we will show you, possibly. This must be the cheap and ghetto way of showing you guys stuff. All right, where is it? Here. All right, take a look at this. See a whole lot of little hinges there, don't we? That really does look. That does look like yeah, okay. I mean, it does look pretty actively. Oh, what do you look? Oh, Dan, I'm sorry. Of course, there's a delay with everything. It is in Bleachhammer in Poland. I don't know why it's called Bleachhammer. I'm sure there's somebody here from Poland who will tell me why I am pronouncing that 85 different ways wrong. However, it looks like a large power plant, and it looks exactly like 4 hinges that are cooling towers, because this is a plant. And I am tentatively still under the impression that what the hinge is in Ludwigsdorf is a cooling tower, because I found I don't know if that episode drowned, because it was like the last one of like episode 8, I think, of season 1. I know I need to label them, and I need to do one for the next, and I need to do all this. There's a lot of things I really need to do, and right now I also really need to get ready to go to Europe and do it all over again. But one of the things is I crawled through. I found the pipes. I found the attachments to the factory, and I am personally sure that it was going to be an active cooling tower, or it was a cooling tower. However, what it means is you had the factory by the hinge. Oh, you saw this, the last one I went to. What that means is that they're building an exceptionally large cooling tower to a power plant that already had 2 of 3 of them that was already running and working, which means something else needing to be cooled. And that's the interesting thing about the hinge, is the underground. What in the underground, where there's all these cable ducts and all these tunnels that were leading pipes into the underground from the hinge. So now the question is, why? Bleach steel hammer, steel sheet hammer, bleach hammer. Anyway, yes, it's in Poland. It's not overly far. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm fine with it being a cooling tower. It's just they're building this enormous cooling tower at the beginning or just before the war. Why? Because the factory had what it needed. There was all this electricity and cooling needed in that area that was flowing in there. And when you saw what Spakovsky, he said about the other tunnels that was laid on above ground, which indicates that they're technical, which means that they're funneling all these pipes somewhere. And it seemed that they're going into the ground, into old tunnel shafts. And they did use old tunnel shafts to work and hide a lot of things into. And that all makes perfect sense, except we don't know what it is in these old mining tunnels that needed this much cooling. Because it did seem that the factory didn't, because it already had what its needs covered. And the original cooling, something's fishy about it, but I'm not sure that the hinge itself is actually the most fishy part. The fishy part is why was it needed? The locations of the cooling towers for the actual hinge have all been covered up by the factory that collapsed on top of them. And I will swing by out there again when probably. I want to try to use my time really productively, because it's probably going to be the last European trip this year. And I guess I'm not going to Europe for my Danish Christmas dinner this year, because I'm doing it now. So I might do some of the American sites over the winter. but I want to make sure that you guys are all well entertained into January, February before the weather starts not getting in our way. And also, there's Argentina coming up. I spoke with Harry from Shark Hunters, and Harry is Harry Cooper. He's a really, really nice guy, and he's really, really friendly. And I can't figure out why some what he said or done that pisses people off to the point where they keep banning him on various platforms. I don't know. But anyway, I may tag along with Shark Hunters in May and go see what's going on in South America. It seemed like something that's interesting. And you will, okay, well, back to, we're not done talking with this. Yeah, for the henge to be on top makes sense, and especially if it's on top of the mine shafts. The water vapor will go up there, be cooled by all the various rods. That's one thing I was surprised that Spakovsky said about the individual square rods inside the cooling tower basin, that they were covered with this green paint that was probably water resistant, which makes perfect sense, honestly. Hey, Christy. Oh, Steve, are you there, by the way? Internal. Oh, my favorite neighbor dog is barking again. Yay. It's just not the same. You try to do voiceovers for you guys when the dog is barking constantly. Anyway. Oh, I'm so looking forward to Sunday. Sunday, the episode where we go back to Jonastal. Let's finally got it put together for you. And we'll probably have a chat after that on Sunday as well, because I would imagine you probably have some questions after we have seen that one. And there's also, well, a whole lot of nuclear reactors going on out in Germany, which also make Espelkamp interesting, because the nuclear reactors that Germany had and the experimental reactors really did not take a whole lot of infrastructure. And I'm not going to give away what we're doing on Sunday, but on Sunday, we're going to go back and take a look at that place I found that was radioactive. We're going to go to Dibna's lab, and we're going to get inside the larger part of the tunnels at Jonastal, and that's all on Sunday. And then we'll talk about it afterwards. But you'll be surprised when you find out how little it actually took to run an experimental nuclear reactor at that time. I was. And I give you some numbers and some names and some test results as well. Anyway, but yes, true. A lot of industry needs cooling towers, Kevin. You're absolutely right. It's not something that is unusual. But apparently experimental nuclear reactors don't, since the ones they had in Gottorp, Kaiser Wilhelm Institute, Heikelok, and the other one, and maybe the other one, and the other one, didn't have any cooling towers. So the last picture, there's a ship that looks like Venturi. I don't know. I know what you're saying. Where's that damn picture? Well, that is from outside Osufka, where this last episode was from. I don't think that's where this is going, Alan. However, sorry, that wasn't Alan saying that. Hey, Iceland. Where? Uncle. Hey, Uncle. No, sorry. The man from Uncle. That's not what we were talking about. However, when we went through Kummersdorf, the proving grounds that was right next to Kaiser Wilhelm Institute, and make no mistake about it, Kaiser Wilhelm Institute was just not a bunch of nerds that were sitting around in a large building with their little beacons and test tubes. They had firing ranges, rocket test sites, and everything you'd see in a military proving grounds, which is what it backed up to. And one of the things they did test, and they did test it. I'm not just doing the whole conspiracy crazy. They did test a sound cannon with a very large disc, and I think they tested it initially with cold dust to generate a sound wave that would incapacitate what would it do? It wouldn't even kill. I don't know if it would kill people or just make them incapable of anything for a while. I haven't looked at, I'm still putting the episode of us going to the Kummersdorf test site where we go to von Braun's last rocket stand there. And on the way, we talked about it, and there was some of the locations and the oxygen. And they actually did test some sort of a sound cannon device. There'll be a couple episodes from Kummersdorf. One of them was just the artillery test. The interesting thing is a lot of times when, for instance, when we were at Kummersdorf, I wanted to see von Braun's test site and the other rocket test stands. So we see all of those. But on the way, there's all these artillery targets, and there's a firing range, and a whole lot of other interesting structures. It's a very, very, very large military test grounds that you actually can sneak your way into without getting bad things happen to you, because it's so large that no one can actually supervise it. The Russians took it over after the war. And I figure, okay, well, the main thing I want to do here is show you the rocket test sites and the test stands. But so I film everything that I go through, and then I kind of put it off to the side. Figure, oh, well, one day, a rainy day, here's a little episode of us looking at artillery targets and Kummersdorf and bunkers that was there. And then as I start going through that episode, I start realizing that I'm looking at things that doesn't make sense or not supposed to be there, or may actually be a whole lot more interesting than I thought. And then that turns into a bigger thing. And we found some things at the Kummersdorf proving grounds that I've never seen before. I never seen artillery range. I sent it to an artillery friend of mine. He had no idea what it was. So I try not to send you stuff that isn't just a little bit interesting. So there'll be a couple of things from Kummersdorf coming up that I, again, don't really know what was tested at this particular site. But when it comes to technology, there's a place outside Verdun where the Germans built one of every different bunker type in this location to test them, of everything they could conceive of, way before Regelbau. And then you see at the military proving grounds like Kummersdorf or Jüterbog, and they built bunkers resembling their own, the Allies, and then they used them to be tested. They just built their bunkers, and then they shot the crap out of them, both to test the ammunition, but also test the strength of the metal and the construction itself. So that all becomes really, really interesting, except because then we get into construction, then we get into the tool organization, and we're back to what was Kammler building and how and why, and how strong was this, because the testing of materials that Kammler and Fiebinger would have used, this started already way back in World War I. So anyway, I am drawing, which actually reminds me that I'm going to be lazy and actually have somebody try to fix my boots, because ever since the cement episode where I went through the cement tunnels, they've been so encaked in cement dust and mud, and that it takes sort of a hammer to get it off. So I'm going to pay the guy $20 to actually clean them up and impregnate them, so they'll still waterproof when I go back, because I figure, okay, everybody, what's the weather in Austria? What's the weather in Germany? What's the weather in Belgium, Holland? What's the weather in Norway? And what is the weather in Denmark? And I'll take a weather report from everybody right now, because oh, very funny. I know what the weather is in Dubai. Unless you can tell me Kamla showed up there and built a bar, I'm not coming. Anyway, because I really want to go to Norway, but I am also pretty sure I did just invest. Thank you to you guys and helping me out with it. I did invest in a that's fine. In a gimbal for my camera, so I can try to make the everything I film a little smoother, especially for Bergkristall, which is really a thing. And yes, the sound wave is a real thing. And I just trying to figure out if they started testing it with coal dust or they did something else. The Japanese did something else as well, and it does make it was a real thing, and they really did it. Bergen, well, there's a couple of forts up in Norway I really want to cap great forts off with, but if the weather is so crappy that I can't film anything because the drone can't fly, and if it gets way too windy, then the camera lens is gyro stabilized, and that'll start bouncing around. It was really hard when I was in Norway last time. So if I can't get good footage, and I can't really show you, then I'm going to wait. So Norway weather report, please. Belgium, French, German, Austrian weather report, please. Yes, you guys out there. Yeah, okay. Raining, but yeah, I do that. A little bit of rain I can live with. A lot of bit of rain is really annoying. So of course I'm coming back to Metz, and I'm probably going to stop over in Verdun again. And I'm going back out to the coast by Calais, because that's where I have to see if I can crawl into the underground of the blockhouse, which is full of water. So yeah, what is it with Holland and rain? I've seen Holland in the sun a few times. Belgium weather report, rain. Great. Oh, yep. So speaking of that, that's probably that could be something, but they wouldn't have tested something like that in by the tunnels out in Osufka, because it would be a construction site, and they wouldn't cap. Why can't I not say that word? See, no coffee. This is what you get. Blabbling in the morning. Little cold, cloudy. No, it's you see, in America, people are no longer responsible enough that they're allowed to have trucks back up without making a horrible sound, telling everybody they're backing up, because apparently people have lost their mind. So that's a truck backing up, a work truck. Privately, you don't, and I wouldn't. Don't ask. It's just the dumbing down of the world is very, very sad. Sweden, no rain. All right. Temperatures I don't care about. I'm fine with being cold. I'm not really, but I'll be cold for you guys. So, did you guys enjoy the episode from Great Forts from that fort in Denmark? Because I will be in Copenhagen, and there's a lot of forts out there that I didn't really know or realize until I started digging into it with the episode and going there. So I was thinking about maybe visiting a couple more of those, because they're kind of cool. So if you guys want to see some of those, I know it sounds like that's actually a question. Yeah, 10 Celsius. All right, fine. Pack my fur coat. I'll pack my Stalingrad coat. Days. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to spend a couple of days in Copenhagen going through some of those, because they're kind of cool. The power plant at the Henge was not a concrete. Wait. In hell like that. The power plant at the Henge. Hang on. Lisa, stop it. Lisa, the power plant site at Osufka that we just went to is about, as the crows fly, 5, 6, 7 kilometers from the Henge. So they're not. Well, it said that everything is connected underground. I don't know. And I know, but by the Henge, there was a whole lot of new mine shaft buildings that was up there. This is why a conversation will be better, because I think I know what you're asking, and I'm answering both questions. But there's the Walter. I'm sorry. See, coffee. Yes. The Walter head shaft building was built for before or during the war. And that was built near the Henge, and that's one of the things that I find really strange, is that they actually built all this infrastructure in a place where there's just supposed to be an ammo factory. All right, let me see. I just got a coordinate. Where'd it go? I'm sorry, the YouTube that I can copy and paste from has a delay. We got a coordinate, people. And love coordinates. So something is weird about the Henge and everything that they built there. Why is that coordinate not here? Is this where we don't have two different chats going on because why is it that this is not coming up here? VDoc, I'm just waiting for your coordinate. There it is. Wow. So, okay. We sent it again. Well, that's really weird. Never mind. Technology is made to confuse us all. That's why it's there after all. Let me save this thing. Saved. And make absolutely no mistake about that. Technology is there to... It's a flower park. Did you send me a flower park? Ooh. Is that the one in Poland? I think it is. No, it's not. Where is this? Well, Germany? Sorry, we keep backing up. Where is this? Really? Back to you. Where are you? There you, nope. Where are you? There you are. This is this post-war VDoc? Is that where I know the German government built a huge rocket facility out there in Africa. Is that part of that? I am interested. What's up with Tunnel 3? Yes, I don't know. Great group. All right, now you start. Daniel, stop sending me emails at the same time as I'm trying to figure out what two chats are doing. I am not that smart. Hidden Parkland has little evidence to why it was on. Edosovka, are you talking about the third tunnel that I couldn't get into because there's tunnels that are indicated on both from LiDAR and others that you have Edosovka, you have the two main tunnels, and then you have one that sticks out a little bit down the road that apparently I couldn't get into last time. I could barely even find it. But there are tunnels sitting in different places. And yes, I understand that on the third tunnel, there was some equipment in there and it's been dammed up in some way for the water to either stay in or get out. I did not have any of the guys with me to get in there last time I was there because I wasn't really planning on it. I just want to see what's on top of it. But this time I want to go, first because I want to get some better footage of it. And I want to try to see if I can get in the boat and get as far as I can. Or see if I can get somebody to go dive in there with me. Because I do have an indication that, yes, that there probably was generators set up in a tunnel further inside, or at least it was set up to be something to power whatever was going on, at least initially inside that tunnel system. I have heard about it. I have asked about it. I have not gotten any satisfactory responses to it. But I do think that they were getting ready to put up some generators inside all of the tunnel systems to run whatever was going to be, because the ones running the actual construction site was outside. Madonna? Oh, are you near that thing? It's on my list. You got to tell me more about the African site, VDoc. Yes, it is on my list. It is. Where are you? Where is it? There it is. Lady, is it open now? Because I couldn't quite figure out if it had been opened as a museum or it was closed. If it is open, it is absolutely where I'm going. It did not come up on mine, but I'll take a look at that again. I'm curious. Yeah. Leading to the two dams. PMCG. Oh, we talk what dams? Oh, we're talking about the ones inside the tunnel. system. Sorry, I've only got like 3 conversations going on at the same time. I'm trying to give the right one to the right response. Otherwise, everybody just get the same beer. It's easier. Oh, wait, Kentucky. Yes, airflow, water drainage, and sewage. Sewage is definitely a thing, and especially when you build them into existing something. And we'll see that actually in the next episode of Great Forts, where we're in Bedell. You'll see a lot of the problems we see in the bunkers is in the next episode, because that's when they figured it out during World War I. Do you know who they are, so we can ask? Because I would actually love to go by and see that thing. And if it's not open, that will be even better. But, well, if it's not open to the public as a museum, even better. Then there might be something really original. Would you let me know on that one, my darling? And I'll try to figure out who to reach out to from here as well. But if it is really close to where you are anyway, let me know, because, like I said, it was on my list for last time. And I did get a U-boat pen in the area that's coming up as well. Diving on bunkers. Cold. I don't. Hang on. I'm going to find cold anywhere. Diving bunkers. As in burning coal, yes. Well, there's a lot of bunker coal the Germans left behind everywhere. I'd love to see History Hunter when he always finds that. And actually, I think cooks sausages on one of the German bunker coal. Building up the ground hole cut out of the episode was high voltage switched on. And what was first? Like I said, I gotta read what you are saying. I have to figure out what you're talking about. I mean, there's something interesting that it is very interesting about what happened out in Africa to find out exactly when did the German space program moved out there and who actually ran it. Some of the guys from that originally started with NASA after the war went there. But when did it start and who started it? That's something I really would like to know more about. But one thing is stalking around Europe looking for things that another thing is doing it in Africa, where I know no one and have no safety net. So I want to know exactly what I'm doing before I go there. Maybe for people. Yes. The atomic jet, cause fiction. They are effective and you can use them. Yes, I think it was, from every indication and witness testimony I've seen, they were trying to pair up a V2 rocket with a smaller tactical nuclear device of some sort, and possibly the shape charged type that Deepno was and Schumann was working and specialist on. I am going to Argentina next year, from what it seems. I know summer there is in January, February, and shark hunters are going there in May. They know where they're going, so I might tag along with them because I might find more than going on my own. And, as always, everything boils down to money. But yes, I'm going to South America. I don't know, is anybody ignoring Brazil? You have so many, many, many interesting people that went to Brazil somewhere just around middle of 1945 there as well. And to the point where everyone I meet from anywhere in South America, certainly in Brazil, I always ask if they have any German heritage. I don't think anybody's specifically ignoring Brazil. Yes. Could we get a whistleblower from the CIA, please? I filed. I just asked them for things I know they should have, and I'm still waiting for answers. But I am going to the Washington Archives because, like I said, I know a guy there who has Voss's 2 reports to CIC afterwards, and I really kind of sit down with him and maybe he can tell me where to look for all the other stuff. Yes, that is Harry from Shark Hunters. I don't know why he has rubbed some people in the establishment the wrong way sometimes. I'm not sure. Everybody has some ideas that are right and wrong, including me, I'm sure. But he's been around these places for so many years, and he knows where everything is. And he's actually a lot of fun to talk to. So I'd love to hang out with them and go see what they're what's. It's not a bad mix. The thing is, Harry's been out there, and he knows where things are, and that's where it would be a good thing to go. And yeah, those two do each other as well. Actually, The Boys in Brazil was a good. That was a good movie. It was a good movie. I knew Steve Guttenberg back when he lived in L.A. He's a really good guy. That was his first real role. The Memories from Stockholm and Mr. Olympia in '87. I think it was. Yeah, the Odessa. I mean, some of the old movies were a lot better and actually had quite a bit more truth to it than some of the new ones. Not that I don't think anybody's making movies to bring truth to anything, actually. I mean, if we were, I don't know. Yes, I know that was part of it. But I mean, generally, maybe he talks politics, and I don't know. Which one? I did not know that there wasn't, because there's so many. Are you talking about the very first one? I never looked into the footage of the testing of bombs out there, because I just assumed that they were all filmed and documented, and Lord knows there's no shortage of finding footage of nuclear testing in the Nevada desert. So if there's one that's missing, I did not know. Do you speak Spanish, though? I know it's not that. I know you don't speak, but still, they're related. So I didn't know that the footage for that was missing. But I would not be surprised if anything's missing, especially if something goes a little bit sideways, and sort of accidentally maybe takes out some GIs or. I'm trying to answer all of them. See, this is why we need to have a chat. It's easy when you just ask for them in real voice. History is slowly disappearing and being rewritten, and that is a problem, because when my generation's gone, if you guys and lady haven't paid attention and pass it on, you can pretty much rewrite history any which way you can when there's no more living witnesses to it. Hey, you could do it while they're still alive. Read. Luis. I want to go back to the small concrete hut at the entrance of the Henge Museum. All inside. Look at, you said water, you should have looked into it. Remember, there's. What hole did I not go into in the Henge STB? That hole inside. You know, I made 250 episodes. Do me a favor, take a screenshot of that hole. Because the only reason why I didn't go into a hole is either I couldn't have because it would seem too deep, or flooded, or I would have gone there. I would have thought. But if there's something I missed, and it happens more often than you'd think, STB, shoot me a screenshot of that, and I will drive my butt up there and crawl into it if it's at all possible. All right. I don't know if they're going to get assassinated anymore. I don't even think PMCG that there's a need to threaten people with death because they've lived under the yoke of dictatorship in one way or another for so many years. It is just ingrained in them that we do not talk about this. And they had the German Secret Service, they had then the Russian for a little while, and then the Polish Secret Service, making sure everybody was shut down. And back then they were picked up in the middle of the night and taken somewhere and come back or not. So even though now Poland is a great country, but you still have a slightly different rule of law in certain ways. And I could see why people would be afraid, even if they don't have a reason to, which they might not have, but they believe they have because it has always been that way. So I don't know if they believe that there's a change, but certainly some people are afraid to talk about it, and other people are just deliberately giving misinformation and telling stories, or some just telling stories because they want to be interesting. But it seems that more and more disinformation, it certainly seems that there is that deliberate attempt to do that. Well, I'll crawl into a tunnel door or not. It doesn't have to be a door as long as the hole is big enough for me to get butt through. Malta. Oh, I want to go there so bad. Malta is so much on the line. And the islands down there. Abed. Absolutely. The Jim Sat technology, why didn't they use it? Mike, I spent a lot of time analyzing that one in the past, so please watch all my 200. No, I'm kidding. Well, the reason is they had it, but they didn't have it in time to make a difference for the outcome of the war. And if they used it at the time they did towards the end months of the war, they would still have lost, but they would have pissed off a whole lot of people. And it was much better to use it as a bargaining chip for those who were in the know to get themselves out of the cooker by selling it to the Americans. That would be the very short speculation, I believe, why they didn't use it. You have millions of Americans on one side, millions of Russians on the other side. If you have 1, 2, 10, 20 small tactical nuclear weapons, where are you going to fire it? If you fire them all, if you have 20 of them, you're going to kill 20, 30, a couple 100,000 soldiers. You're going to bomb London. You will piss everybody off, and there will be no deal, and you will not make it. That's why I believe they had it and didn't. Also, delivery was an issue. They might not have made they may not have been ready to marry the nuclear weapon to the rocket that could get it there in time. So I believe they did it. They had it. They tested it. It worked, but it was too late. And to deploy would be the quick question. There was like a bunker door by the hinge. God damn it. All right, I will go back and look at that episode and figure it out. Damn it. Polko, yes. I mean, I so much down the Mediterranean I want to see military history-wise. Because remember, there's forts and undergrounds and tunnels, and in some of the some of where the British held out down there, they had still the cannons from the old dreadnoughts hauled up in tunnels. So want to see that. Juicy pork chop with my name up. I haven't even had breakfast yet. Didn't even have dinner. Yes, and now that I found out how to do this, I can put the question up there, and then I can answer it. Oops, sorry. I'm getting questions from 3 different sides and all at the same time. So yes, some of them are getting lost. And once again, I apologize for not having responded to so many of my emails. And it is a balancing act. I do have a day job, so I just pay the rent, and I have to do the episodes so you guys are entertained and we can make more. I haven't seen the inside of a restaurant since I was in France. So it's not like I'm spending my time on anything else than this. But I do feel bad that I have not, that I haven't gotten through all my emails, and especially because I know a lot of you guys. That's what I'm saying. Please send me short emails with coordinates, something that I can give me a quick overview. I can just look at what I'm seeing, figure out if it's near me, and then and do more investigating on it. Because a lot of times it just boils down to time, and Guernsey I would like to see. Inside museum. I mean, a lot of interest. It's interesting. A lot of things happened around Arnhem that was very interesting. And am I not correct that Kamla was there at one point? And there was some rumor that one of the reasons why Market Garden had to happen. And Market Garden was kind of one of those operations that was a screw up, where they had all the warnings that there was a couple of SS regiments sitting around with a whole bunch of tanks resting when they dropped, and they sort of knew and they ignored it. But one of the reasons supposedly was that Market Garden had to happen because they were trying to capture and or kill Kamla, who was in the neighborhood, with the mobile V2 launchers. Well, fine. I hope you know where all these things are, because I'm expecting you to show me when I come out there. See what you stepped into now? So I figure I'll see you by the end of the month, or Undertown, big part of Undertown. And I will say that Tick, whom I have actually never spoken with, made a really good in-depth on Market Garden, an episode on his, like 10 episodes. Very detailed, but he didn't talk about Kamla. But the Allies had Kamla on a hit list. They bombed Doha Mittelbau, or the town, killed some 8,000 people to try to get him, because they knew he was there. And by the way, Doha Mittelbau tunnels and the tunnel systems adjacent to the V2 factory are still off limit because of the flu. And I tried charming and nicey, and nope. So can't go swimming in that, which is really, really annoying, because I really wanted to. Yes, I've seen I've seen it, but there's a lot more to him than that. So we shall see. And there's, what else are we going to call it? If I call it something else, it might get flagged because I used the word. Have you not watched Monty Python? Speak not the word. I will also, throughout this winter, start doing episodes on prominent people of the SS that have some relevance to what we're doing and really haven't been talked much about. And like I said, I've two different chats, and one has a 10-minute delay, which is not helping. And I am, like I said, I really wanted to do a whole series on the SS, starting with Himmler, leading up to the Annenerpe and so on. And now I'm going to. I really didn't think that they were going to open in Austria, so. This was an unplanned trip that will cut into. I figure I'll lose a weekend episode at least. Yes, it's interesting with Mark Feldman because there's a lot of footage and stock footage, and his format is short, concise overviews, and as you've clearly understood, that my format is babbling on for 2-3 hours. Showing every silly little rock I can possibly find, because, well, that's why you have a fast forward button, right? Yeah, Market Garden was a complete fuck up. Just like most of World War I was a complete fuck up. I know. Damn it, Alan, I'm about to say goodnight here. It is, but it is very interesting. And side note, my fascination with World War One has grown exponentially the more I have seen and looked into it, and how that tied in to World War Two. And it is so, it is interesting if you think about it, and if you look at it, from the Franco-Prussian War, from Napoleonic Wars, you had horse cavalry charges with lances. World War One has horse cavalry charges with lances. It has dudes in white pants with blue shirts charging the lines. And that's when they figured out how, when it comes to tunnel building, so many tunnels were built during World War One that a lot of the F-ups that Kamla and Fibinger had to put into account or take into account when they were building anything. All those lessons were learned during World War One, and that's why I really like it out there. These old World War One forts are just amazing. And lady, have you been in Liège and some of the forts around there? And there's that one old one I got myself locked into. The tunnels that they're built from pre-World War One. That's amazing. And I haven't gotten into them yet because there's one dude who opens it up one day a year, which is obviously not the one I'm going to be there. But it really does tie in together. Only SS General as women, not in history. Alan, what? I promised to read these. I have Black Sun. So I'm asking if I'm interested in occult stuff, and I have it. But if you have anything that specifically relates to the SS and the occult, I would be interested, because I don't see as many of the higher ups in the SS being, or lower ranking, being interested in the occult as post history has wanting to display. And the craziness I see on TV when they talk about these guys, it just, sometimes it really is breathtaking to say, well, wow, you made this up. Where did you get this from? Nowhere? Okay, that's what I thought. And there's the Totenberg mausoleum in near the castle out in Poland, that you have heard a whole lot of conspiracies about and strange things. And I'm going to try to. I've been there. I've done an episode from the Totenberg. Again, very little information, but none of the conspiracies. It's very easy to start a conspiracy by saying, well, this is an occult SS high castle of something, because I say so. And here's a picture of the SS and this, so it must be occult. There's some historian, or other these documentaries that has really taken some very interesting leaps from A to B. And I know that Himmler's library is sitting, part of it is sitting in Prague, and I'm hoping to go by there and actually get to find. I knew he has an interest in history. I know he has an interest in occult. Absolutely, he was interested in all sorts of ancient histories, but from there to running around with a cape praying to ancient deities, maybe not so much. They did seem a little bit too pragmatic for that. But there was a lot more spirituality and interest in the esoteric from before World War One, leading into World War One, and post World War Two, World War One. So a lot of that was still more of the norm then than it is today. So it might not have been that strange then, but of course, a lot of the seers and dowsers and what everybody, you have tarot card readers and psychics were arrested at some point to some degree, especially after Hess left, but also before. So there's not always the interested in it. Would they have arrested all these people if they really had an interest in what they were doing? I'm just saying. And Goebbels, again, played a much larger part. And I will get to that I think I can do a series of quite a few episodes. That's going to take a lot of research, because I want to do it right. And I'm researching and I'm writing notes. that will go more in depth than any other documentary that you've ever seen, because a lot of them are just really taking leaps to hang people out to dry that you want to, instead of actually trying to explain what happened and who and how and why. So I'm going to try to do a series on that, which hopefully, with a little luck, could be the standard go-to, because I will have help from some really, really intelligent historians that are far smarter than I am. Hang on. There's an error separated. Noted. Noted. Noted to the point where I'm just going to save this note, because that is something that there's a lot going on out in Linz, and if you are out there, you will possibly agree. And if you're out there and you know where other things are, do let me know, because chances are I might be out there on my own, which means I don't know where everything is, and there's a lot of things I do know where it is, but that I can't get to for now. Hang on, I missed a question. Where are you? Did you find anything in German? Tell me. Very much, I know about that. I have trying to get some of the original writings of Romersa, who was there, and I have not been able to get onto the island because I need a boat, and it's not going to happen now because it will all be in November and the weather's just going to be crap. So it is, but it is not the, you have Rügen, the U, and then you have outside of that, you have another island called Rügen with an O, where the test tower monitoring station is actually seated. And that's the island I would test something at, if ever, because Rügen is a rather populated peninsula. So yes, I have looked into it quite extensively, and everybody out there thinks I'm crazy when I ask. But then again, that's pretty much the norm. They have not been told, and they were certainly not told. Everyone who's alive today haven't been told about it because their grandparents, well, most of them, a lot of them didn't make it. I haven't sent an email. Thank you, Tom. No, David, I don't know. There's a wife joke in there. Oh, hang on. Well, democracy is a great idea if people will just not screw it up. And then again, what is the old joke? Democracy is the worst way of government, except for all the other ones. Because what are all the other ones, and what are they exactly doing? But we don't talk politics because we need to be here. If we came to Bonn, I'm interested. Let me know where to find you. Bonn is on the way. Not the second one you mentioned. All right, methamphetamines. That reminds me, I need to go to the gym soon. All right, you guys. Speaking of, that's not a question. All right, you guys. I think we should, as far as it's possible for every single one of us, let's do this after every time we have some. I put something up that we will, especially the walkthroughs that are. Remember, the appendix is things I want you to see, but it's not really the informative episode that it could be. But let's try to do this every time so we can talk about what found, because a lot of it is. A lot of things I walk through and see are also things that I don't know. And I'm surrounded by people who also don't know. And we find areas that no one really have any idea what was or did or was to be used for. Yes. And that's why we're all sort of here trying to figure out what actually happened. And a lot of you guys have different knowledge background than I do. And like I say, I'm not an architect, for instance, and there's a lot of these things that would the more we do this and the more we can share this and we can share pictures with people who know construction or technology or rocket research or nuclear, the more information we can all gather and the more we can dial ourselves in to what actually might have happened. And that's why we're here. So I'll try to do this after every time we have a show coming up. And sometimes there are documentaries that I just see and I just want to pick apart. Although I'm sure I'll get in trouble for that, but I really want to, because some of them are just so bad. And that you can actually hear the agenda ticking. Anyway, I'm going to drink some coffee and go to the gym, and then I'm going to go back to working on the next 4 episodes that I want to make sure you guys got something to look at while I am out in Austria. And yes, shoot me an email. I would love to see some of these places that we just chatted about when I'm out there. It does make life easier when I'm sitting so far away, that those of you who are local and who knows of entrances and know of places that should be shared. And this is what this is all about. It's about sharing and showing each other history and preserving it on camera, that it will always be safe. That's why we're here. That's why I'm doing this, because there are people that will, well, hopefully there'll be a generation after ours, and we would like to actually present them with some of these places, and just simply walking through a place that won't be there in 10 years or won't be open next year or will be destroyed. At the very least, if it's on camera in a fire safe somewhere, wrapped in foil, it'll be safe for posterity for now. And like I always said, if you see something online, you see documents, you see locations, you see photos, you see stories, you see videos that are really significant, historically important, seriously, save them, take the pictures, download them. And I didn't, of course, say that. But keep them, because you never know when they disappear. You saw that Facebook shut down a couple of days ago. Things like that, I believe, will probably happen more and more. So for us who want to protect and safeguard history, sometimes pictures and videos are all we have. And that's why we're all in it together, to look for them and film them. And I'm looking forward to utilizing my new flashlight and my new gimbal stabilized camera that I will have no idea how it works, because it's not going to be here till Wednesday, so we can see. But like I said, we're all in together, so if you have ideas, let me know, and I'll try to keep up on my email answering. Sorry, the guilt is palpable. You guys have, well, and you know what, on Sunday we're going back to Jonastal, and I think we're going to have to do another hour after that, because I would be surprised if none of you have questions on what I'm going to show you on Sunday. Haha. And it being Sunday, you got nothing else to do. And let me know what the weather's like in Norway. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to go there yet. Be safe. Don't take crap from anybody.